Welcome back to Locky Top and back to all your Vols action for week 5 of the regular season. It feels like it's going fast, Josh.
Yeah, man, it was such a slodge through the the summer, and now we're already headed into week 5, man. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to break down this week. We have Tennessee, as our graphic here shows. I mean, the big win over UAB. We kind of knew that going in, just from a talent perspective. We'll recap all of week 4's biggest games, talk about those. You know, the AP poll, it's still enigmatic in nature. So we got some reactions there. We got a brutal week 5 slate, though, man. You know, we're talking about week 5 already being here, but we got Auburn, Texas A&M. We got Georgia and Alabama, LSU and Ole Miss, Oregon and Penn State. Conference game. It's still weird for me to say that is a conference game, but here we are in 2025. We'll shift to the NFL. We'll talk about, all the week 3 recaps, big week 4 matchups. We got Eagles, Bucks, Chiefs, Ravens, Packers, Cowboys. And I think we'll finish it off with some of Naveen's locks of the week. I gave you mine last week. I hope you went out there and put all the money on the Hurricanes, because it would have cashed a lot of bands for you if you would have took me up on that one. That was a train wreck that you can predict far away. I'd even like to I know we didn't put it on the show prep, Naveen, but maybe even get into this 9-game SEC schedule a little bit. I know that's probably the biggest breaking news of this week going into week 5 for college football. And that's the SEC moving from an 8-game conference schedule to a 9-game conference schedule starting next year. Tennessee, when you look at it at first, you see their 3, yearly opponents, conference opponents locked in. That's going to be Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. And not to steal any thunder when we get to that topic, but good grief. What you get on that end is that sounds like a pretty easy draw. What we got for getting those 3 on the back end of our rotational opponents, good grief. The next 4 years look pretty brutal as far as strength of schedule and the way that we look at the SEC right now. So, I guess we can roll right into Tennessee UAB. So again, Tennessee throttled UAB, man. It wasn't, much to really look at after that first half. We got Joey Swagular, my man, out there slinging darts everywhere. He went 15 of 22 for 218 yards and 3 tutties. He had 1 interception. I don't really put that on him. It was one of those tip passes. All that was in the first half. And Tennessee overall piled up 510 yards of offense. Not to say, UAB didn't put up a little bit of a fight. UAB had 394 yards against Tennessee's defense, so need to fix that. What was your key takeaway? Just when you look at 394 yards of offense from UAB, when we're talking about recently, kind of our defensive woes, Naveen.
Yeah, I mean, still giving up big receiving plays, right? We're smashing them in the first halves of games. Like I kind of look at this game almost similar to how we look at ETSU, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a blowout.
Kind of a throwaway. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blowout, kind of throwaway game, but the opponent's still scoring 20 points, right? So it doesn't matter if it's UAB, ETSU. I don't want to insult either of those programs right now, but they're not really at our level, right?
No, they're not. They're getting paid handsomely to come get that work. Yeah.
So this would be kind of like, not to bring the big bag wolf up, but when Saban's up 38-0 at end of the first half, and they give up a field goal somehow, and he smashes his clipboard.
He's going crazy.
Those are the kind of situations that we're in right now when we face these teams. Like, we're not giving up field goals to these teams. We're kind of giving up large plays to them, which is kind of concerning, like 60-yard touchdowns, kind of like secondary breakdowns.
Yeah, it's totally secondary, and I'm glad that you bring that up because when you look at it, I think the biggest disparity, when we talk about total yards, offensively for Tennessee versus UAB, Tennessee on the ground, they rushed. I think they carried the ball 43 times for 235 yards. So, I mean, when you look at that versus UAB carried the ball 23 times, or excuse me, they had 23 yards and only carried it 19 times. So you're looking at a 5.5 yards per carry versus barely over 1 yard a carry, right? I think like 1.2, quick beer math. But, it's huge disparity there. So it's kind of alarming. You bring up the secondary, man. It's like, good grief. The rest of those yards are coming through the air.
Yeah, just to close out that kind of math we're doing, right? It's 39 receptions for 371 yards, and it's roughly 9.5 yards per reception. So everything is kind of down the field. It's not in the flats. It's not anything close to line of scrimmage. I think
that's what I was about to say too. Like,
we're doing a good job at the line, but we're not doing a good job in the linebacker plus secondary areas to let this stuff keep kind of piling up.
Yeah, front seven's great. I mean, linebacker play, I think it's pretty solid because I mean, we had 3 sacks against UAB, 9 tackles for losses, and we locked down the run, dude. I mean, they had 23 yards rushing, But outside of that, I mean, we got to clean up some penalties. But to your point, man, secondary, man, we got to get healthy. And there's some reports. So good news. We just got to, it looks like, kind of get through and the storm this weekend at Mississippi State and kind of ride it out, because it looks like Tremont McCoy is coming back for the Arkansas game. That's the news I'm hearing out of Knoxville today. Reports that he's aiming to come back against Arkansas.
Yeah, like, we had 9 tackles for loss, which is great. We had, as you said, I think 3 sacks.
3 sacks, yeah.
So it really is
that back end just getting
that back end. And I would have liked it. I don't like to we don't like to nitpick on the show, but I think there was some for sure some other interceptions that could have happened. As I was watching the game, I was like, oh man, that could have been a pick. One pick. I mean, it's always good to win the turnover battles. So definitely it's fine in terms of that. But yeah, it was pretty good to see that. We just got to tighten things up as we get into our upcoming schedule, right? We have Mississippi State coming up. Then we have Arkansas. Then we have Bama. So this is getting into the harder part of our schedule.
The lean part's over, man. The lean part's over. We got some big games coming up.
Right. Following Bama, we have Kentucky and we have Oklahoma. And I think by the time we play Oklahoma, their quarterback, John Mateer, would be back. So
yeah, he's got a hand injury or something, right?
Yeah, I watched that game. I think we'll talk about it a little bit, but yeah, he broke his throwing hand
during the game.
During the game, yeah, he's in the first quarter, and he kind of played through it. Honestly, he did a lot.
I mean, he scored the game-winning touchdown, like running it in. So
yeah, so he's a tough guy, and we definitely need to tighten things up before we face them, because interestingly enough, they're not the team that would test the secondary. Probably Arkansas would be the team that would be the bigger concern with when that comes up.
Jalen Green.
Yeah. And I think it's the main thing with them is the pace of play. Like they will go old school hypo on us. So, a lot of plays, not a lot of opportunity to substitute for our defense. So whoever we have on the field has to be kind of on the ball with it. Touchdown scorers for us. We had a bunch of them. Obviously, Joey threw for 3 touchdowns to Brazel, Matthews, and Star Thomas. Good to see Matthews.
Usual suspects.
Yep.
getting some tutties.
And
but it was good to see Big Mike Matthews getting
always good. Always good to see, these supposed 5-star kids show up to the game and score a touchdown. So when you see it, it's good. And our rush game is nice. That's like the pleasant surprise of the season so far, is that you lose Dylan Sampson last year, or
generational talent, I'd argue.
Right.
Broke all the rushing and scoring records for a single season. He's in the NFL right now doing great things, but yeah.
But we kind of have a little
There's no drop off. Yeah.
There's no drop off, but there's also no like bell cow running back. It's more of a committee between Lewis, Bishop, Star Thomas, Dwayne Morris. They all got like 7 to 11 carries. And pretty much most of them scored touchdowns too. So it's a well balanced offense. Like I would say that would be the term that I would use, is balance, because they really have multiple ways to get points on the board, and it's a good mix. Like it's never, except for that, fourth quarter in Georgia, it's never 3 runs in a row. It's always some kind of mix where the defense has no idea what's coming, and that's a good sign. Like I feel like over time, Josh Heupel is kind of mellowing out his pace of play, but like distributing the ball around the field more. So it's just kind of seeing him mature.
Yeah, I would say it's easy to maybe say he's maturing when he's got a little bit more talent. I mean, I'll tell you a stat, man, that really sticks out to me. I think, you look at the amount of touchdowns that Joey Aguilar has thrown in SEC play so far, right? He's had 1 SEC game. He threw 5 touchdowns. So through 8 games in SEC play last year, 9 touchdown passes were thrown. So there you go. I mean, just from a talent standpoint, I think we've beat that horse. And then every time Tennessee is playing, obviously we hear the story about the transfer portal saga with Nico and him, but not to beat that dead horse. I just think we have more skilled players available, and you're able to see Joey Halzle and Coach Heupel really, showcase their capabilities with the talent that they have, open up the playbook. And this is something that we didn't mention last week, but has also kind of come up in conversation in the news locally here in Knoxville, is former offensive coordinator Jim Chaney at Tennessee. He was the offensive coordinator here under Derek Dooley and Jeremy Pruitt. He is now on staff at Tennessee, and he is an offensive analyst. Okay. And Jim Chaney, I think the first 5 or 6 years that Kirby was at Georgia, Jim Chaney was his offensive coordinator, right? So maybe that's helping. Throw a little, because you can see there's deliberate change in the offense. It's not go, go, go. They've slowed some things down. You see some different sets coming out, some different installs you can see. Things, but I would also argue I think we have better talent on this team probably more talent than we thought we had coming into the season. So,
yeah, for sure, for sure. That's definitely the case that I'm noticing as well, Josh. So, um, if you don't mind, can we switch to the next topic, which would be the big games that we kind of
no, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
talked through. Last week, we just want to touch back on them as well. So we'll start kind of with Auburn, Oklahoma.
Oh God, terrible.
That was a rock fight, as you like to call it. Low scoring game. One controversial missed call that kind of impacted the game. I don't
One.
know, at least one. At least one touchdown that was.
So you're talking about the fumble?
No, I'm talking about the when they threw to that guy who like faked that he was going out, and then that's the one that the SEC officially kind of like marked as, "Hey, we got that wrong. We shouldn't have let him do that."
Yeah,
and then yeah, there were other ones throughout the game.
The fumble return for a touchdown as well.
Yeah,
Auburn. Look, I'm never blame the ref guy. I am never blame the ref guy. Like get that out of here. Auburn got absolutely jobbed. J-O-B'd by the SEC. It was CES officials. That's an inside joke for all of us here on Lucky Top. That was full blown CES at its finest. Like you cannot explain in any form or fashion how those calls are allowed to be made at that level. It's inexcusable. And I think both, I mean, not only the fans, but especially the team, Auburn deserves a lot more of, some type of repayment. I don't know if that comes later on in the year in a bigger game, maybe against the Crimson Tide. I don't know, but SEC's got to make that right for them, man. If I'm Hugh Freeze, I'm losing my mind, dude.
I don't get it in terms of like what the official apology can do for you, right?
Nothing. Just don't even do it.
It's like at this point, don't do it. Other leagues, they don't have as much problems with the refs as we do, and I'm starting to watch Big Ten more. Like I watch different types of games throughout the course of my Saturday, and I can definitively tell you guys, non-biased but biased, that the SEC has the worst refs. It's not even close. Like it's not close. Like you won't see, if refs disagree in the Big Ten, they like talk and meet about it. Here, anything can happen anytime, and it's not reviewed. Nobody's talking to each other, and it's kind of a shit show. And also this game.
Did you see the ACC crew? I think in the Georgia Tech game they played Clemson, where they were letting on the reviews, they were letting ESPN like film or show on the TV like what was being discussed between the booth and the refs. I thought that was a really cool insight to see.
I did see that. I did see that, but I know for a fact that our crooked league would never
do that. SEC would never ever do that.
Hear the refs?
Yeah, I mean all the officials are Alabama alums or people that wanted to go to Alabama that maybe not was let in, but maybe from Bama. So
yeah, it's like everything associated with the SEC is pretty crooked.
Yes,
to be honest with you guys. It's not like, oh, hey, maybe there's Illuminati. Like, no. Illuminati sits on the front row at SEC games.
Absolutely.
And also, funny enough, like this was the game. It ended on a safety that was the difference between covering the spread or not. So I had Auburn plus 6.5. I was like, okay, just need to fucking end this game. Safety to end the game. They were down. They were down by 5. And I was like, okay, just need to end the game to win. Got a safety to end the game and lost. kind of similar to what happened to people who would bet Rams. Stand up. So, if you bet Auburn, you probably bet Rams in this Philly. And you had that game locked up either way. Blocked field goal without a return.
It's brutal, man.
Missed field goal. But one thing that is not accounted for when betting those spreads is those crazy plays, like a safety to end the game or a block 6 to end the game for no reason. Like, why would you continue running that back? I still don't know. Like, with a 500-pound guy. Anyway, mysterious stuff happening in the world of football betting. Another game that we wanted to touch upon was Texas Tech, Utah. I watched most of this game because we were kind of debating it in the chat, like, hey, what should we bet on? Andy said Utah. Roman immediately said Utah. And then I was like, okay, I need to take Texas Tech.
Fade them.
2 wrongs don't make a right, or broken clock is right twice. But I know when there's a consensus in the group chat, Diplo got to go.
Go the other way.
That was a great game. Kind of pretty close throughout the whole game, except for the fourth quarter. And then
they blew it open. 34.
They blew it open with the backup QB. And this is a case
where Will Hammond, baby. Will Hammond sighting.
Will Hammond. He might be he's probably better than the starter.
I mean, think of all those big plays he cashed in, man.
Yeah. It was a lot of nice throws. Like, they're very good in the red zone.
He exposed that Utah defense, dude. Exposed them.
And I think that kind of performance versus Utah, which is not a bad team at all, should probably get you in the top 10. But according to AP poll, it gets you to the top 12.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, of course, the AP poll. But I'll tell you, man, I don't think Texas Tech I don't think they're a dark horse anymore for winning the Big 12.
White horse.
Yeah. Katy Perry, baby. Yes. So, and then you got to look at Utah, man. I really think they have to regroup because I think they run the risk of falling into a bad spot in their division race pretty early in the season. So I hope they don't let that setback derail them. I think Utah's a pretty good team, but I don't know, Texas Tech, dude, white horse.
Yeah,
Start betting on that pony, I guess.
Yeah, I think that what's interesting is they don't have, as of last week, that was both of those teams' last ranked opponent on their schedule.
Yeah.
Right. So Big 12 kind of weak right now. So that was a huge, huge game. Like, you never think like, hey, my week 4 game is going to define my season. But yes.
Well, our week 3 game defined ours. So too soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still hurts, man. Sorry.
It you know what, Josh? Like, it hurt, but it was pretty positive in the sense that for a loss, we got a lot out of it. We just choked it away and we missed a field goal. You know what I mean? Like, obviously for the audience, I think everybody knows what we're talking about.
We don't got to rehash it, but
we're talking about the Georgia game. It was a critical turning point in the season. Maybe it was the fact that we never really played Georgia that early. Part of the mentality was like, this is still beginning of the season, take it a little easy. But no, they didn't take it easy. They eventually got us in OT, but man, that could be a very defining factor. But hopefully that woke us up for the rest of the season coming up.
Yeah, getting healthy too, right? Got to get healthy. But I think Josh Heupel, he mentioned that too at his presser after the game. He said, "Does anybody care? Does anybody care that we're banged up? No, nobody cares. And at the end of the day, they're not going to put an asterisk beside the win or loss just because we're injured. Nobody gives a shit. So you got to go out there. Next guy's got to step up. Talking to you, my man Redmond." You got to start covering people, bro. We're going to play bump and run, and they're going to put you in hard situations, man. You got to be able to defend. So, but anyway, I digress, man. But yeah, Texas Tech taking down Utah. You want to talk about another big game on week 4, man? How about Indiana?
Yeah, that was one of those games like I was checking on
God
my phone.
bless.
That was a beatdown. I almost like didn't believe the score because I thought like, Illinois was supposed to be good. Holy
Yeah.
shit. They just that reminded me of not to bring up Georgia again, but yeah,
That was an
that was kind of like
Andy Dufresner for sure.
that was a Georgia TCU kind of game. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my, there's absolutely no chance that these teams are on the same level at all. So yeah, I think like I don't know. It was smackdown 50 points.
Dude, Fernando Mendoza, dude, 21 of 23 for 267 yards and five tutties.
Yeah,
No interceptions.
your Heisman leader has it
Godlike.
right now.
Yeah, 100%. It's like 20 to 1 odds to win the Heisman now or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I'll pull them up right now.
I know it's not that low, but good grief.
I think right now it is. Oh, come on, man. Gunnar Stockton.
And, we're talking about that kick, man. We make that kick. I think Joe Aguilar is your front runner for the Heisman right now.
Something like plus 750 or something right now. And it wasn't even like listed before.
Yeah, I know.
So,
crazy. I think
yeah, very dominant.
Like 1,500 to 1 or something like that.
Very dominant performance coming up. Big. And what's interesting about those teams is like if I look at the Indiana schedule, not too bad. Probably their biggest test is going to be Penn State, November 8th. Oh, shit. They got to play Oregon, too. So they got to play. After this week, they get a bye, and then they go to Oregon, and then they go to Penn State. So that's when this kind of Big Ten shit comes back to kind of haunt these teams down. Like, I don't think there's like East or West anymore. It's kind of similar to SEC. So
yeah, it's just
you're gonna be
records.
You're gonna end up playing 2 out of the 3: Ohio State, Penn State, or Oregon for any of these teams. So you're gonna end up playing. You're gonna get 2 losses. So,
yeah, guaranteed. So, and I think that's where we kind of have to shift our mentality from where it used to be like, oh shit, we lose a game, our season's over. It's almost like the NFL now, man. Your season's not over if you lose a game. And now with the 16-team expansion, dude, it's even easier. I think 10-2, you're a lock. 9-3, probably still get in. When they go to 16 teams.
So, Josh, I wanted to bring that up, Josh, but now you naturally brought it up, so thank you. But you can go 10-2, but the important part is you need to go 10-2 with having a good win.
Yeah, you got to go 10, and you got to go 10-2 at the right time.
So I'll use us as an example, right? We lost to Arkansas, but we beat Bama. Right. So we need to have a similar kind of situation if we're going to have 2 losses. Otherwise, we got to stay with this 1 loss. So I think 9-3 is debatable. Only if you're Big Ten or only if you're SEC. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But there's just too many good teams, right? Like there's teams ranked ahead of us. There's teams that are kind of like in that top 20 zone that could leapfrog each other. So I do kind of agree with you in the sense that you can be 10-2, but you got to have a signature win in there.
Yeah.
So
Big 12 doesn't have those built into their conference or their non-conference either.
Right. So this could be a huge thing for Indiana. Like banking this 50-point win versus Illinois.
Yep.
But you also kind of have to root for the team that you beat, which is
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, we really want Georgia to run the table since they beat us, you know?
Yeah, like you got to make sure that.
And we want Florida to do better. We want, Alabama to do it. Mississippi State being 4-0 going into their place, I like that. I just hope that we don't, stay with our road woes.
Yeah. And I think, like, if you look at LSU, for example, right? They've had these top 10 wins.
But
right?
Clemson's shit in the bed.
Florida's bad. So it's like, hey, what does this mean?
What have you really done?
Exactly. So let's take a look at the top 25. Ohio State kind of staying there. I'm okay with it. Miami.
I think Miami should be number one.
Yeah. They are. They should be 1 or 2 for sure. Like
what they've done so far. I think they've done their body of work is probably the strongest out of anybody in the top 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I would probably put Georgia higher too. To be honest with you, they beat us.
I think it should be 1, 2, 3. Ohio State, Miami, Georgia.
Yeah, because I think Georgia destroys LSU and Penn State both.
I'm okay with keeping Ohio State there just because they haven't fucking
defending national champs, haven't lost. Okay,
haven't lost.
Whatever.
That's fine. Beat Texas, who is somehow still hanging around here. So let's go through it. Ohio State.
Don't walk Texas back so quick. Now y'all were ready to crown them week 1.
Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, LSU, Georgia. So that's our top 5. Penn State and LSU kind of taking 2 steps back, I guess, because Miami's definitive win there. Now let's get into the debatable sections. Like Oregon is a deceptive team because they purposely front-loaded their schedule with shit teams. They don't really cover their number. We've been noticing that, they let in some late touchdowns, kind of similar to us, honestly. But they are still pretty good, and they will be tested versus Penn State this weekend. So that's good to keep in mind. Oklahoma 4-0. I'm good with that too because they've got some good wins in there. Florida State, again, they've played nobody except for Bama, but they're 3-0. A&M. Frank, Roman, and I will be going to A&M. So it's going to be a really good game, I think, and I'm hoping that we can kind of make sure that we see some of these middle teams in terms of SEC. Technically, A&M is ahead of us, but I don't think that they'll be there by the end of the year. But they'll be playing Auburn, who just had a kind of devastating loss. So it'll be good to see Auburn coming into Texas A&M. I've never been to Kyle Field, supposedly huge stadium. Johnny Manziel's house. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Kind of excited, and we'll give some of a recap next week of our trip and see kind of the stadium atmosphere, things of that sort, because we do like visiting kind of other fan bases. You guys got to visit Oklahoma last year. That was seemed pretty cool of a trip, so I'm hoping A&M will be similar. Now we got into the questionable zone. There's no reason why Texas should be above Indiana or Texas Tech or Ole Miss. So if I was here,
but anyway,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think we'll still have. I'm not too sure about Oklahoma's backup QB, but I'm pretty sure we'll still have a very competitive game for the Red River Shootout, Oklahoma, Texas. in Dallas. Then we kind of got our zone, which is Iowa State 4-0, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is tough. Pretty good team. They get into these weird kind of penalty situations. I noticed that they run the ball a lot with Haynes King. Interesting kind of dynamic there. Pretty big run offense, but not as much of a pass offense. Bama is looking better, I'll be honest. Like, they don't look exactly like the same team that faced FSU, but again, their opponents have been bad too. So not really getting too much of a sign there as to that they're improving. And I think AP poll is kind of reflecting that too, down 3 points. Vandy's tough. Mish, big game versus Nebraska. That was a pretty entertaining game. Probably the other game that I would have recapped. 30-27 win on the road with a freshman QB versus Nebraska. Missouri kind of took care of, who did they play? South Carolina. So these are teams that are 4-0. A lot of SEC teams in there that are 4-0, 3-1, right? So the rest of this, Illinois, let's just go home with this.
Look at the Fighting Irish right there, baby.
Fighting Irish, I realized, like, I just stopped questioning what their record is because they are full Illuminati. Like, they don't even have to worry about it. They're going to be in the playoff. Like, I can almost guarantee that unless they lose again. But yeah, crazy.
Just hanging around,
just like Texas, honestly. So other teams receiving votes: Auburn, Mississippi State.
So yeah, I mean, look at that. You know, that's who we got this week, and they're technically number 27, right?
Right. So they are no. I don't want to look ahead like we did versus UAB. Like, those teams are not on the same level, but at the same time, we should be kind of beating these people. So let's talk about that, Josh. I'm going to go ahead and officially call it Tennessee number 15 at
number 27, Mississippi State.
Yeah. So Tennessee is a 7.5 point favorite here in the betting market on the road. Road Hypel. Not the best. Not the best at all. Last time we played them, we smoked them last year, 33-14.
And that was with the concussed Nico and gas pipe.
Again, that's the thing.
Mississippi State's changed so much.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I wanted to bring up, Josh. It's the fact that with NIL and the portal set up the way it is, you can't look at like, oh, what happened the last time we played them, because it's an entirely different team for the most part. Like, especially if you're looking at these bigger conferences, right? Like, you could be playing a completely different roster. New QB, new coordinator, new coach, whatever. New set of, basic starting 11 on both sides.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you can just easily take for granted in the sense that, oh man, we kicked their ass last year. Because no matter what, there's so much turnover on these teams, and we're not good on the road, right? That's another thing we got to get into our mind is like, we kind of got to prep the way you would for a Georgia.
Yeah.
When you're going on the road, just pretend it's Georgia or pretend it's Alabama or something.
Right.
It's like the logo on the helmet does not match how we play. Like, we play these good teams well, and then we get into
rock fights with nobody that should even come close to beating us.
Exactly. So I want to touch on that. Like, what are the keys to victory versus Mississippi State?
Man, I think there's a big matchup to watch between Tennessee's offensive line and Mississippi State's pass rush. I think if the Vols O-line holds up, Aguilar is going to have time to do his thing. But I think that's where you'll see one of the biggest improvements for Mississippi State is defensively. They really know how to get after it. And when you go back and you peel back the onion, Jeff Lebby Mississippi State's head coach. He's from that Josh Heupel coaching tree. He was served as an assistant coach with Josh Heupel. I think he was, memory serves me right, UCF and Oklahoma. So he knows Josh's system probably as much as Josh does. And, just watching that chess match go back and forth because they run the same offense, same everything, right? So that'll be interesting. I think Mississippi State will try to test their secondary. They've had flashes offensively of putting up some big numbers. Again, their quarterback play is really good so far this year. I think, in past games, we've seen the Vols kind of jump out to an early lead. And, we need to be able to avoid those letdowns, especially the second, third quarter lulls that we find ourselves getting into, especially in a hostile environment on the road in Starkville with all those damn cowbells going crazy. But, again, I mean, the SEC is a line of scrimmage league, man. And if Tennessee can control that and forces them at Mississippi State into like being a one-dimensional football team, I think that's where we win the game.
I think that's right, Josh, in the sense that Mississippi State already had a big game and won, right?
Yeah.
When they played Arizona State, they came back in a huge fashion, 24-20, and Arizona State was ranked 12 at the time. Yeah. So they know how to play the big game. I don't think it's the same Mississippi State that has been kind of just hanging around bottom feeder of the SEC anymore.
Yeah, they're not Maroon Vanderbilt this year.
Right. And Vanderbilt's not Vanderbilt this year.
Yeah, let's pump the brakes.
So, yeah, we just want to keep in mind that we got to show respect to our opponent, and they are going
I'll never respect Vanderbilt ever, but I know what you're talking about, Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm talking about Mississippi State here in the sense that it's one of those games that you would tend to overlook, right?
Sure.
You would say that, hey, we're looking forward to beating Arkansas next week. It's kind of a perfect kind of trap game. And I think for the most part, the keys to victory with us are the same. It's going to be, how does our secondary kind of match up with the rest of their team? They're a team that, from what I can see, looking at their record and stats so far, they don't really make as many mistakes. Like, they're a little bit more conservative than us.
They're way less penalized than us too. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. They are kind of a little bit more disciplined than us, but less talent. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
The all-time name for their running back, who's pretty good, Fluff Bothwell. Fluff. Holy shit. How do you come up with, how do you tell the doctor with a straight face?
Name's Fluff. F-L-U-F-F? Fluff?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Fluff Bothwell.
All right. Well, I'll put a bow on this one, man, before we get into Alabama, Georgia. Tennessee covers easily, man. I think Tennessee wins by 10+ going away on the road. Okay.
That's good. I wanted to get into the big games of week 5, and then we can do the Tennessee schedule right after this.
Sure.
So we'll talk about the big games coming up for week 5. This is an all-time week for the gamblers out there, and just for the fans out there in general.
Yeah, it's a good week for college football fans for sure, man.
This is the one weekend that I told all my friends kind of like weeks ago, no weddings, no events. Make sure you're free.
Get me locked in, man.
Weekend, holy shit, man. I feel so bad for you.
Nobody will be watching your wedding. They might physically be there, but they won't be present.
Yeah, and that's almost worse, right? It's almost like, man, why did I do this? Funny story. I had a coworker schedule a wedding on Super Bowl Sunday, and he's not a sports fan. So he's like, man, I was looking at all these Sundays in February, and this one's like by far the cheapest. And I was like, yeah, do you know why?
Super
Because
Bowl,
you
buddy.
scheduled a wedding during the Super Bowl, dude. And this is like, obviously it's not the Super Bowl, it's not the national championship, but this is the number one, I would say, action weekend of the year. We got Bama, Georgia. We got LSU, Ole Miss. We'll be going to A&M,
Auburn
Auburn.
A&M, yeah.
Back home east, close to us, we got Penn State, Oregon coming to Penn State. All kinds of games. All kinds of games. You really got to be ready. You got to be locked in. Pick your favorite spot on the couch.
Put a big ass dent in it too.
Put a big ass dent in it. Take a walk in between. This is what I like to do is take a
Gotta
walk.
stretch the legs. Gotta stretch the legs.
After the 3:30 game, before the 7:30.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why they give you the little extra break. Make sure you get a nice meal in. If you have an Adel, get some wings, but take a walk too. Got to make sure you're not full.
Have the DoorDash app handy. Yeah, man, I feel you. Get some wings, maybe some pizza, throw in a little stuffed crust, whatever you got, man.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Bama, Georgia. Let's start with that one, Josh. What are your thoughts?
That one's I think a lot to unpack, and I think historically, this is your Tyson Holyfield. It's a heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? Both programs have their reputations, I think, hanging in the balance because everybody in the college football world right now knows Tennessee let Georgia off the hook. Everybody knows it. Even Kirby said it after the game. Tennessee deserved to win this football game. I mean, we did it. We gave it to them. So I think that coupled with they fell off a little bit from being in the national spotlight of being number one because they kind of had that lockdown from 2020 to about 2023. Then you see the big
they didn't lose in the regular season.
The Big Ten kind of flipped the script on us with Michigan and Ohio State going back to back. And then obviously the decline with Bama. It started that second to last year under Nick Saban. We broke them. So I'm glad that
this is also a job saver.
Absolutely. For Kalen DeBoer. Yeah. Right? So
this is a big spot for him. Like
if
he loses this game, and then let's say he loses versus Tennessee.
That's happening. I'm let on this episode be serving notice to all the Bammers. Yeah. We're coming to T-Town to whip ass and chew bubble gum, and we're all out.
Yeah, so I think we finally saw Gunnar Stockton's come out party, unfortunately, versus us.
I don't know. I mean, he has some great throws. I would say their running game had their coming out party against us. We couldn't stop a nosebleed with their rushing attack. A lot of that had to do, and when you go back and you look at the whole game holistically, a lot of that had to do with our defense. Obviously riddled with injuries. Again, nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. But you look at it objectively, riddled with injuries and just on the field because we were just throwing shit. Joe Aguilar threw for 5 touchdowns. I mean, offense was barely on the field. That's what happens with that fast-paced stuff. But yeah, man, I would say Gunnar Stockton, to be fair to him, he made plays when he had to make them against us in big moments. So a lot of hype, a lot of hype coming into the game with Gunnar Stockton to be one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. I think with that, you couple that with higher expectations. So I like what you're saying there with Gunnar Stockton element. Lot of story here. A lot of different narratives with Kalen DeBoer, as well. He better win, or it's
Georgia.
Really hot.
Georgia is minus 3.5. What would you say for that line?
Push
on 3.5.
Yeah.
Very similar to our game, right?
Yes.
Georgia's -3.5. I think that's a little sus. I would take the +3.5 here with Bama. I know you're gonna call me a Sabanite or whatever, but I think it's a good enough value that it's going to be a close game.
I don't call anybody a Sabanite associated with making picks for Alabama to win because, Saban ain't there. He ain't walking through that door. They got Kellen and they ain't winning.
Right, but they could lose by 3, which is good enough for me.
Okay, well, fair enough. They could lose by 3. I suspect them to lose by more than 3.5.
Okay. Next, we got Oregon, Penn State at Penn State, whiteout game, nighttime. And interestingly, these games are pitted against each other in the schedule. I think that the network kind of had no choice here. But they're both 7:30 games. This is a 2 TV situation or TV and a laptop.
Quad. Dude, you got to get the quad screen going, man. YouTube
you know
TV.
What? You know what, dude? I think I have a weird form of ADD where I need I can't deal with the quad box.
Don't take Tylenol.
I think, as our president would recommend, don't take Tylenol if you're like me, but I can't follow. My eyes can't deal with 4 games happening at once. But I do want to watch this game. This is another test of James Franklin, man, your boy. -3.5. Is he gonna fucking finally win a big game?
No.
I think he finally has the team to do it, but man, I don't know.
I'll tell you, this game is riddled with playoff implications. We've kind of talked about it before. There's not a lot of home runs for these other conferences out there. So you got to hit it. You got to smash one out of the park when they come your way. And when you really break down, I think this game, you look at Oregon versus Penn State. I mean, it's just a classic battle of speed versus physicality. Oregon wants to push that tempo. They want to go fast. And Penn State wants to play Big Ten football and just grind your ass out. You know what I mean? So I think the quarterback matchup and protection is going to matter the most. I think it's going to matter more than people think. So, if you keep the quarterback clean, man, I think Oregon gets the job done. James Franklin, big games, close games, he finds a way to shit his pants every time.
Yeah. I do want to mention that these teams have similar schedules. Like, this is a massive game.
That's what I'm saying, man. And playoff implications all over it.
Then they both play Indiana. So another kind of interesting game. And then Penn State also plays Ohio State. So Penn State actually kind of fucked this year. Like, they have these 3 big games when in the past they've always had 2, right? Like,
yep.
He's always been able to play Michigan or play Ohio State and kind of lose both and still make the playoff.
Welcome to conference expansion, baby.
So now they have a fucking gauntlet. They got Oregon, they got Indiana, and now they have Ohio State in the mix. So huge implications. You got to win 1 out of the 3.
Absolutely.
I have to. You cannot go through the schedule, lose all 3 big games, and make the playoff. So if there was a game to win for Franklin, it should be this game. So that one is Penn State -3.5. Feel like it's Oregon +3.5 situation. Kind of feel like I'm taking all the pluses here except for Bama.
Okay.
LSU Ole Miss -1.5.
Lane's getting it done, baby. I got a shout out. I'm wearing my Tennessee visor in honor of Lane Kiffin. I don't know if you guys earlier tonight, I watched the E60 on Lane Kiffin. I think it was a good show. If you haven't checked it out, I don't like giving Mickey Mouse a lot of pub, but go check it out on ESPN. So I think it was a good documentary. But taking the Lane train, baby. LSU, I think, is a paper tiger, all pun intended. they easily cover, and I think you can go money line on this too because they're going to win the damn game.
And that's how Vegas feels too. Ole Miss is -1.5. Like you have a worse ranked team versus LSU, and LSU has to come to Oxford. So interesting game there. Auburn A&M we kind of covered above, so I won't really touch on that one.
Well, before we get to Auburn A&M, one last thing on LSU, man. I'll tell you, I think I take the over too. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this football game.
Okay, let's kind of see where that's at.
Well, you got Lane Kiffin's offense versus a very suspect LSU defense.
So
that's LSU, and LSU can't run the football. So you get them in anything 3rd and 5 and longer. Cheeks, bro.
55.5 there. So we're saying over 55.5.
Yeah. So LSU is going to throw it. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm telling you, they can't run the football. LSU is going to throw it, and I think it's going to be a high scoring game, man. We're talking. It might be I don't know, 35, 32, or 41, 38, something like that.
Okay, cool. So I think the last one we want to talk about is Auburn A&M, just because we're going to the game. 6.5 for A&M at home and 52.5. Feel like it's A&M and under. Typically, you want to fade the teams who had these like devastating losses, NFL and college football alike. So Auburn definitely got robbed of that game. So you want to kind of play against them. Also excited to see Marcel Reed, the QB for Texas A&M. I think he's really good. He's very accurate. Can also run the ball real well. So I think he's a dynamic player and should be in like the top 10 conversations for Heisman. So hopefully that kind of shakes out. And I think I will be betting Texas A&M -6.5. Lastly, we wanted to get into some of the schedule that came out. So we had Josh who sent us this image of what the schedule looks like. I'll kind of blow it up so the audience can see. So in 2026, we play
Bama. Home games are in orange. Yep.
That's tough. We finally have our battle here in football of the oranges. We got Bama, Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, Texas at home. And on the road, we have Arkansas, South Carolina, A&M, and Vandy. 2027, holy shit. So we got...
Good Lord, look at that road schedule in 27.
So, let's talk about road first. So Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Mizzou on the road, and Florida, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Vandy. So, damn, dude, 9 games. So you get an extra good team kind of in there every year. So 28, kind of more balanced, but LSU and Texas on the road.
28, dude. But yes, to a certain degree, having home games against Bama, A&M, and them, it's great that they're home, but they're still on the damn schedule. That 2028 schedule, that is insanity.
Yeah.
Bama, Arkansas, Kentucky, South Carolina, A&M, Auburn, LSU, Texas, Vandy.
Yeah, not easy. So I think this is when we're going to start getting into the three loss zone.
Yeah.
When you have these 9 teams. And yeah, it's not
29 doesn't get a lot better.
Yeah, so it's going to be rough for us. So,
26 is pretty rough.
Yes, I would say.
Look at that home. I mean, that home slate just in itself. It's going to be great tickets That's a solid home slate for what we've had recent. Like, even think about this year. The only home game that's really worth a damn this year was Georgia. I mean, we play Oklahoma at home, but nobody wants to go watch Arkansas.
Right.
It's just not a strong home slate this year. But I'll tell you, 2026, it ramps up pretty quick, man.
Yeah, it's not anything to take lightly at all. So, keep that in mind. But 2025, we've got to make the playoffs because there seems like it's going to be difficult to make the playoffs for the next 4 years. I'll put it that way.
Well, I think it'll be difficult for everybody. I mean, you go and you can look at some other schedules out there, and
my question is, Josh, is the Big Ten going to do this too?
Yes.
Is it just SEC? Okay.
They're going to have to. Because what this will do, right, just like when we went to the 8-game schedule, what this will do, this will allow a 9-3 SEC team into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Over a 10-2 Big Ten team.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. So, yeah, just a quick look at what's to come for the coming year and years to follow. Definitely going to be a hard gauntlet for us. So we want to make sure that we get the right players too. I want to make sure for this stretch of 4 years that we have a huge name wide receiver. I think that's the one recruiting thing that we're kind of missing, Josh. I don't know how you feel about this. Is like we don't have like a Jeremiah Smith. I know those are generational players, but we don't have like the elite level wide receivers that the Georgia, Bama's, Ohio State's, the Michigans kind of have had over the past couple of years. So when we get a harder schedule, I hope our talent also improves.
I mean, we're going to have Tristan Keys, man.
So he's a wide receiver?
Number 1 wide receiver in the country.
Okay.
Flipped him from LSU. He'll be here next year. So
we need to also make sure that
he's an Adidas athlete too. So I don't know if that had anything to do with Tennessee switching from Nike to Adidas, but
yeah, so that would be
probably
good.
Did.
Yeah. And we also want to make sure that we get the elite, able to poach some elite guys from the portal as well, because that's kind of how things go. And yeah, just to follow up on this point, we will be switching kind of to NFL to kind of cover the full gamut of the sports world. NFL, what happened in week 3? We start off with the Bills kind of crushing the Dolphins. Closer game than people thought and Vegas thought. So 31-21. Colts demolished the Titans. Don't want to talk about that to our
No, we don't, man. I can't even watch the NFL right now, man. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough.
Steelers beat the Patriots. Jets lose another crusher at the buzzer. Bucks are 3-0, I think, at this point. So, and the Jets are 0-3. I live close to New York City. For those that don't know, combined, I have the same amount of wins as the Jets and the Giants do, 0. So 0-6 here.
0-6. You got 2 teams and no wins.
Yep. Commanders kind of beat down on the Raiders. Rams, Eagles, we talked about it. Crazy game of the weekend, I think. One of them. Eagles kind of bounced back from down 26-7 to win 33-26 on a field goal block to end the game. Panthers smoked the Panthers smoked the Falcons. Similar to Vikings, we showed out. We had Isaiah Rodgers, who was a defensive back for us. He had a fumble 6 and a pick 6 in the first half. And I think PFF, who does like the performance grades.
Yeah, Pro Football Focus. Yeah.
Yeah, so they gave him a 99.9. It's the highest like
It's
defensive
highest you can get. Yeah.
the highest defensive performance ever. So I mean, it was against Jake Browning, so that makes sense. um, but encouraging sign. Carson Wentz slinging it. So I'm now a Carson Wentz fan.
Okay.
Jags beat the Texans. Browns beat the Packers. This was fucking Illuminati.
Dog pound, baby. Dog pound.
Browns defense is sick. They can't score points for shit, but like as long as they can hold you to like 10 or under, they're in the game. Very sus game in terms of like the Packers, how they played offense. Jordan Love to end the third quarter, like does some weird shit and gets sacked, loss of 10 yards instead of like just not hiking the ball to end the quarter. Then you had Matthew Golden run out of bounds. A lot of Vegas and Illuminati sightings in that game. Seahawks beat the Saints. Saints are worse than the Titans. I will say the Titans are not the worst. Saints are the worst. Niners beat the Cards. Bears beat the Cowboys. Chiefs beat the Giants. And Lions beat Mr. Fumble, Derrick Henry, 38-30.
Man. Yeah, Derrick Henry, man, he beloved former Titan. He does all those damn insane offseason workouts just to fumble the ball when it matters. He can carry 28 guys to the end zone, but he'll fumble on the 1 yard line.
What's sick is like he always gets a touchdown. Like this, it's always in the fourth quarter after he's had like a pretty good game, and then he shits himself. So interesting stuff. Wanted to highlight kind of 3 games in the NFL and kind of pick some sides. Eagles are -3.5 at the Bucks. Ravens are -2.5 at the Chiefs. Packers are -6.5 at the Cowboys. What are your thoughts on Bucks Eagles?
I think Eagles offensive line and their run game should probably dominate. So my biggest question is, does Tampa Bay's offense produce consistently? You know, Baker Mayfield's going to do his thing. But I think Philly's defense, I think it's just going to suffocate them up front. You know, I think it'll be a trap. It could be a trap game for Philly if they don't lock in. But I think after last week, that probably scared them enough to know, like, you know, it's an NFC game. Got to make it count. So, yeah, I think Eagles get the job done.
All right. Ravens -2.5 at the Chiefs. I'll kind of take this one, Josh. Chiefs. They get Rashee Rice back. I think they get a little bit of momentum back. They're the dog in this game. I don't really understand why.
I mean, Ravens, they beat the Giants.
Yeah, they beat the Giants. Ravens are up kind of in every game. They punted versus the Bills. They were up 21-14, I think, in the Lions game. But any lead with them can be lost. So I just don't trust them. Give me the Chiefs at home. Like, when do you get the Chiefs at home as a dog? Like, as a dog better, that's crazy. So Packers -6.5 at the Cowboys. Josh, what are your thoughts here?
I think Jordan Love's going to face his toughest test so far of the year. Obviously, one of the toughest defenses that he's faced. So concerns with Cowboys O-line health, you know. Got to find some run pass balance. You just got to. There's always that kind of weird rivalry vibe with these two teams. So it'll be a big game, you know, big fan bases, big franchises going at it. But give me the Packers, man. The Cowboys are gonna choke it away, and you know, it couldn't really happen to a better team than America's team. But yeah, so I think the Packers get it done.
This is a case where if you're going to bet the game, maybe you want to tease the Packers. Like, I think everything in the world, all the press is negative on the Cowboys side,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's a Sunday night game. They're basically begging you to bet Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that it's under 7. You would think that it would be like 7 or 7.5, but it's not. So maybe you want to be betting like Packers money line in a parlay. I'm not trusting the 6.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the spread. I would do money line.
All right. So we're kind of in agreement there. So I think that leaves us for our last segment, which is best bets. I'm going to be running the best bets today. So I'll just give you my thoughts on what's happening in college football and NFL. Again, huge college football weekend. So we have FSU minus 6.5. We have Houston minus 13.5. Syracuse plus 5.5. Arkansas plus 4.5. Ole Miss minus 1.5. Ohio State goes to Washington minus 7.5. I think we'll have to see a kind of bigger game from Ohio State than we've been seeing. So more offense versus a better team. We'll see how that goes with a freshman quarterback. A&M minus 6.5. Tennessee minus 7.5. I think this is a good time to bet Tennessee. And I think we're getting a pretty good number. And we have the better talent, as we discussed before.
100%.
So I think back our team here. And again, Bama plus 3.5 to kind of close it out. NFL, Bills minus 15.5. Like, I'm just fading Saints. I think it's the squarest bet of the week for me. But you got to do it. Last week, like, Seahawks beat them by 30, and I think Bills are so much better than Seahawks. So just also PSA, like, just always throw a James Cook touchdown in there in your parlays. Like,
yeah, it's a lot.
James Cook, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs. It's pretty much a fucking lock that they're going to score.
And a Derrick Henry fumble, throw that in there too.
I have the Bucks plus 3.5. I think it's a weird spot for Philly. Funny enough, I got the Giants plus 6.5. Chargers coming into town. Return of, or I guess debut of our boy Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, there you go. Ole Miss is
New York
finest.
is very excited for. I can say that definitively. Everybody in New York is very excited to get rid of Russell Wilson and start on the
Jackson Dart train. Nice.
Yeah. You see him popping up like on your TV screen like once every 20 minutes in some sort of ad. He's big time
everywhere, huh? Okay.
Way more than I think. Like no offense to Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But he is not just marketable. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. He's not like a sex symbol. Jackson Darts, I don't know how funny he is, but like all the girls love him here so far, even though he's just a backup QB until now.
Okay.
He's like on billboards. He's on all kinds of ads. So give me the optimism with the Giants plus 6.5. Don't have to win. Can lose by 3. Can lose by 6. But let's see it. I have Rams minus 3.5 versus Indiana Jones. I think that he's finally going to see a good defense here. Rams are probably like pissed the fuck off that they lost to Eagles the way they did, blowing a 20-point lead. So give me Rams. And again, give me Packers just money line, though.
Okay.
Kind of close it out. So we talked an extensive amount about Tennessee football and college football. I think it deserved it this week because it's just massive shit happening all this week.
I mean, week 5 college football slate, like you said, we've had this one circled on the calendar. Like, clear it. Don't be scheduling anything, weddings or any of that crazy stuff. But you look at our full slate from this episode, man. There's tons of big games, tons of big bets to make, and a lot of good storylines to watch. So Yeah.
Yeah, this is in math class they would call this an inflection point. This
Yes.
is where the curve changes, right? So, um, obviously we got Bama, Georgia, that changes the SEC. Penn State, Oregon, that changes the Big Ten. So even if you don't watch any of the other games, your nighttime you should be locked in. Like by
Yeah.
7:30, you should be at home. No bar,
Nothing.
no, like, oh, I'm gonna go watch with my friends and some casuals. No, you should be locked in at
Yeah.
home on your spot. Make sure you're locked in. And then Sunday, man, we got the games we talked about. We got a London start with the Vikings.
I hate those, but
It's just
whatever.
nice though to have a game on at 9:30 because as
Sure.
I'm older, I'm like, holy shit! Like I gotta wait till 1 p.m. for NFL. Fuck.
Right. Right. Well, fair
Like
enough. Fair enough.
I'm up at 7. I gotta wait 6 hours for NFL. Not this weekend. So yeah, just lock in, guys. Like it's an important weekend. It's an important weekend for us as Tennessee fans too, because it's nice to build up like some equity in our road doggedness. You want to make sure that we can do it when we
Yeah.
need to.
100%.
Especially because it's been a struggle so far. Like that's probably one of the few blemishes on the hypo record is the road. So I want to make sure we lock in and get the dub. We got a big part of our schedule coming up in October, so we want to make sure that we're fully locked.
If we're still sitting at one loss when it's time to head to T-Town, what are your thoughts about making a trip to Tuscaloosa?
I've never been to Tuscaloosa, dude. I would be open to it. I think right now the top two places I want to go in terms of being a visiting fan are that I will not have gone are those are the either Tuscaloosa, Auburn, or I want to go to Oxford because I
Ole
hear
Miss, the Grove, yeah,
yeah,
tailgate in
I've
the
never been
Grove.
there. Have you been there, Josh?
No,
Yeah. So we'll get the opportunity at least in 2026 or maybe this year. If we take care of business versus Mississippi State and we take care of business versus who else we got? Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah,
We will be discussing a trip.
our trip. Okay, all right, sounds
At
good,
least this
man.
discussion will be open.
Yeah, okay. And then we play here in Columbia. I'm living in Columbia, South Carolina right now.
Okay.
So at least you got a free place to stay. And a nice bed upstairs. So guest room is wide open for you, buddy. So I'm glad that I'll be in town. When Tennessee comes to town. So I won't have to travel too far.
Nice, man. All right. This is us for this week, boys and girls. So let's go Vols. Let's lock up this win. Travel well to Mississippi State for those of you traveling, and go Vols.
GBO, man, let's get this dub, and we'll see you next week for episode 52. See y'all later.
See you guys.